How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video, and welcome to Rye House, where Aldas and I last weekend were out running in the Super 90 Championship. I think it was the third or fourth round of their championship, I'm not really sure. It was our first time joining in. It's basically a 90-minute endurance race in go-karts, 2 drivers, 1 driver change, nice and easy. And while some things went a little bit wrong in this race, which I'll show you about a little bit later on, I think overall this was a pretty ridiculous evening, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So if you enjoy the karting content, then please hit the like button and subscribe as well if you're new here. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So to kick off, we had a practice qualifying session that lasts 15 minutes for both drivers total. So yeah, quite a difficult one, especially considering Aldas has been karting a lot recently, and I haven't really done anything in maybe 6 or 7 weeks at this point. I obviously had my holiday where I went away, and I also had COVID, so both of those two things had precluded me from actually going karting for a little while. However, it meant that basically Aldas was going to go out and do maybe 5 minutes of the practice quali, and then he would give it over to me to do 10 minutes so I could get warmed up in the kart, even though he'd be the first one in the kart for the race. So yeah, you can see here I've just called him in. I've just put out that little 11 board to call him into the pits, and in he comes to hand it over to me. We try and do as quick a pit stop as possible because in the race this is going to be our only practice. I say quick, I kind of dawdled a little bit there, just checking on the seat, having to change these as well, which we actually didn't have to do in the race, but that's a different story altogether. And then back out there to go and drive the kart. Now, unfortunately, in the actual race, my GoPro decided that it was far too cold to operate, so the only actual footage you'll have of me driving on board in this video is going to be for practice quali, so I might as well show you a little bit of it. Most of it was just a case of getting used to the track. So what has recently happened at Rye House is that they have resurfaced everything. So all this nice new tarmac is super grippy. It's incredible. Like, lap times have dropped by at least a second and a half for basically everyone, I would assume. And that guy gets sent around there, unfortunately. But yeah, carrying on, like, all of this stuff is super grippy for me to drive on, and all of the curbs are much easier to use. Beforehand, they were much more jagged and they jutted further out of the ground. Obviously, we're putting on this new layer of tarmac. The track is slightly higher up, and it's been brought up to those curbs, so you can really attack the curbs now. Like, pretty much everywhere on the track, the curbs are basically fair game and part of it. So look at that, I'm pretty much all the way over the white line there, just getting as much of the curbs as possible. This corner I kind of screwed up, but yeah, all of this stuff is just practice quali, and my race lap times were about 7/10 faster than my quali time, so there was a lot of lap time in there from what you're currently seeing here, but we'll ignore that for now. But yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of fun to get out there, drive on the new surface, drive on the new track as well. So yeah, it felt like driving a different Rye House. It was like Rye House, but slightly modified is the best way I can put it. But despite having been out of the kart for so long, I actually felt really comfortable in it pretty quickly. Not immediately, but pretty quickly. Comfortable enough that I started overtaking people pretty much from the get-go. I wasn't getting overtaken, and I was doing all the overtaking, which was pretty positive considering this championship is full of people that have been doing it for the last few rounds, and all of them have a good level of go-karting, I would say. There's some people who are much faster than others, obviously, but in general it was a very high standard of karting on the day, which is great. And speaking of that high level of karting, I did manage to slot in behind the number 1 kart, which I believe was the championship leader going into this round, and follow them for a couple of laps, which meant that I was able to pick up some of the lines and maybe get a little bit more comfortable a little bit quicker as well. I was feeling pretty positive because the kart wasn't going slowly in a straight line, and I weigh 88.8 kilograms as of this moment right here, which is quite heavy in a go-kart in comparison to quite a few other people who I'm competing with. But I wasn't really losing out too much in the straights, which I was pretty happy with. Sometimes you can get a slower kart and then you can really suffer in the straights. It can just be compounded by the fact that you're well, super heavy, I guess. So not having that made me feel pretty positive about this kart, made me feel positive about the day, and the fact that I was able to basically hang with the number 1 kart meant that I was expecting to do reasonably well. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think this might have been my fastest lap of quali. You can see there, getting that human DRS down the straight, coming into T1, little bit wide, and then slicing it back across to try and get the run, coming through here, taking all of the curb, as much of it as you can possibly take. Here, got to get that nice and tight. That was much better through that corner, getting it as tight as possible. Through here, I should have been a little bit wider, wider, but I worked that out in the race and that saved me a bit of time. Following the number 1 car here, trying to pick up some more slipstream, getting that human DRS enabled again. Back on the inside here, much the curb as possible. Here you want to just let the car run wider than where I let it go there, way wider. If you've got the momentum, you can go way wider there and keep it going fast. Here, absolutely abuse those curbs, which I didn't do enough, which is probably where a lot of the lap time was in this lap. And then across the line, I think I did a 42.1, yeah, 42.1 I think I did, which wasn't bad to kick off the session, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, obviously then I started to lose a little bit of track with the 1 kart because I got stuck behind the 15 for a little bit, but that wasn't the end of the world. Like, I had my opportunity to kind of see where fast was and what I could do to go quicker, and I think that helped me to pretty quickly get up to speed, where I might have taken a little bit longer given that it's a very short practice session. Always good to find someone who knows what they're doing, knows the track, and then yeah, use them as your reference point to get a little bit quicker if you can. Here you can see just jumping to the inside of the 15 kart, and you can see I literally went off the track to pass him, and that's a viable option because of how flat the curbs are at Rye House now. But that pretty much finished up the session for me, coming round these final set of corners once again, onto the final straight, and then down here as hard as possible on the gas and spotting that checkered flag up ahead. That was the end of the session. No idea where I'd finished. I knew that I was relatively quick, but I didn't think I was going to be the absolute quickest on the day. Pulling into the pits here, up behind the 1 kart still, so I didn't lose too much track of him, so that was a positive sign going into the results.
Oh yeah!
That's the good side of the grid as well.
Is it? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
You actually don't. I was going to say, I'd rather you not be second, because I was going to get left on the outside.
4th, Row Karting. 3rd is Aldas with JB. Yeah.
P3.
What are you saying for this race, Aldas?
Right, starting P3, and mate, we had such a compromised quali as well. My seat went backwards, so I didn't set a quick lap. He's only just started on this surface, so P3.
Bro, it's coming. It's coming.
Coming home, mate. The dub's coming.
I need to make sure the seat is right. I don't know why it popped out, but anyway.
Bro, feel it, yeah?
So yes, P3 on the grid, as you can see, and our team name was Aldas with JB, which is always, yeah, I mean, I suppose it makes sense if you guys watch both of our YouTube channels. But yeah, obviously here on the start line, Aldas ready to go, kicking off this race, starting from P3, which I've given him there. I was only a 0.18 off of the kart number 1 you see in front there, and they were both matching completely on their times. But that's in the past now. Aldas getting a great jump there, jumping up from P3 to P2 and getting straight in behind the 1 car, which I was very pleased about, as you are about to see.
Yes, Aldas. Yes, Aldas. Look at that. Stay inside, Aldas. Stay inside, mate. Beautiful.
Normally Aldas and I are racing against each other, so it was a little bit weird to be racing with Aldas this time, but I was super happy to see him get up to P2 straight away. Gets a little bump in the back there, I think from the 6 kart who was sitting behind, but yeah, immediately into this race. Aldas has had way less practice than a lot of people, just because obviously he gave me most of the practice in quali, so he's just going to get warmed up, get into the car, get feeling right, and then yeah, chase after number 1 car. And here on this first couple of laps, it's really important to not lose too much time. You can't win a race at this point, particularly a 90-minute endurance race, but you certainly can cause yourself some issues if you're fighting too hard and causing yourself problems in terms of yeah, pushing it too close up behind someone and having a spin, having a crash. That can really compromise your race and change how you're going to drive for the rest of the time. So it's important that Aldas just settled into it here, and you can see he's very much doing that. And I thought I would include some of the off-board shots as well, by the way, just because I took a few on my phone. I did have my camera there, but the whole evening actually kind of went really poorly. It took me about 2.5 hours to get to Rye House that evening. I was about maybe 45 minutes late on the day because of how horrendous the Dartford crossing is, despite it only being like 35-40 miles from my house. So yeah, not good at all. But yeah, Aldas doing a great job here, still chasing after the number 1 kart and coming into T1 again, and I was there to cheer him on. But Aldas didn't need too much of my support because he was already obviously right behind the number 1 kart, clearly faster, and doing his best to just take his time, take it easy, and not push the issue when you don't really need to. You can see here just coming right up behind the number 1 car, getting a way better drive out of that corner. I think the kart was also a factor there. Also the fact that Aldas has cut significantly in terms of his weight. So yeah, I said I'm 88 kilograms. Aldas is rocking up here. He was at 64 kilograms. Bro's almost 25 kilograms less than me. I'm almost another Aldas on top of him. So yeah, dude was absolutely killing it, and dude is committed to getting this karting right. You can see him coming through T1. He is right behind the number 1 car, getting a great drive out of the corner as well. Number 1 car a little bit compromised. Aldas going to the inside, braking a little bit later. Slight contact, but only a tiny bit. And yeah, Aldas taking the lead of the race by force. And yeah, let's rewatch that from my perspective. An excellent job by Aldas there, taking the lead of the race and then doing his best to start pushing away. But to be perfectly honest, Aldas had such good pace at this point in the race that it wasn't too much of an issue, to be perfectly honest. Here he comes back onto the main straight, coming down, and we're going to jump off onto some off-board cameras for a second here. You can see here, this is Aldas coming down the main straight. He's still got the number 1 car directly behind him, super close. But by the end of this section, you'll see we'll jump onto the next lap or a lap afterwards or something. Aldas is already starting to pull a tiny bit away. The guy's just about keeping touch in the number 1 car. Aldas looking really comfortable there and just cruising through. Very nice. There's no real opportunity for the 1 car to get past him. And then here, yet again, you can see a couple of laps later, it might even been 1 or 2 laps later, Aldas again just stretching out that lead little by little. He was generally doing about maybe 4 or 5 tenths a lap faster than the car behind. And yeah, it was really positive driving by Aldas. But then here we go, later on into the race, a few laps later, we do come into some back markers. And of course, with great back markers comes great madness for no apparent reason. So this guy decided to force Aldas off the track, which was very interesting. Very interesting choice. And I think he actually ended up getting a come-in penalty as well for his troubles. Not for that one specifically, but for a consistent theme of clarting into people. Aldas giving him the old eyes as he goes past him there. Got to give a bit of attitude, I suppose. But yeah, look at Aldas' speed, man. Coming through T1, he's just so speedy. Coming through here on T2 as well. Lovely. To the elbow and into hairpin 1. Very nice. And then later on into the race, Aldas still cruising around here. It's getting a little bit darker, of course. Aldas is just gone. At this point, he had like a 15, 16, 17 second lead. And then, yeah, by this point in the race, coming round this corner here, he's starting to catch up, actually, to P3 and P2 in the race to lap them. Not quite there. You can see there, putting his hand out like, dude, what's going on? We did not expect to have this level of pace in the race. Of course, there's always going to be more backmarker stories in this kind of race as well. So here he is, coming through here, getting a little bump, getting a second bump. Very nice there. Pushing through still, though. Going to try and go for the inside. Not quite going to have the speed for it on this occasion. Has to stick behind the 12 car for a little longer, who goes a little bit wide there, leaving Aldas the opportunity to stay on the inside. That's definitely way better to stay on the inside there and keep yourself as tight as possible to get as best an exit to all of this section as possible as well. Aldas getting past him in the end, which is good. And then chasing after these guys who are compromising each other's race just by clarting into each other so much. Aldas going to go for the outside here, for the inside here, turns into the outside, getting another bump though by that back marker. And then, yeah, having to battle his way back down the straight. So, yeah, definitely losing a little bit of time on the with the back markers. But this was the fastest lap of the race by Aldas. So what's important about this lap as you watch it is that this was the lap record at Rye House to date. And what's even more important about it is that Aldas had set the lap record, broken it again, and then broken it again just for this one. So he had done a 41.28, a 41.24, another 41.24, and then this was a 41.23. And that is P3 in front of him there that he's coming to lap, who has actually pitted and swapped their drive. You can see that it's now a blue driver rather than a black one. But yeah, like, this is insane. That what you have just witnessed there is the lap record at Rye House in rental go-karts, which is just unbelievable by Aldas. It's a real testament to the fact that he's been pushing so hard to get faster at karting, a testament to the fact that he's been pushing in his personal life as well. You can see here on the left-hand side, that's me calling him to the pits, by the way, which I didn't do early. It's obviously 90 minutes, so I could have done 45 minutes, but he was going so quick that I was like, nah, sack it off. Give him the time. Let him keep going round. And he did about 55 minutes, 56 minutes of the race. and then I did the rest. So just over half an hour did I do, because I just thought, well, Aldas is just killing it. There's no point me even getting out there. Nearly lapping P3 in his stint. There's no need for me to be involved. So yeah, Aldas pulling into the pits. You can hear me here shout at him.
That's record, mate, that's record!
So yeah, now it was off on to me to make sure that I could bring it home still in P1.
Fair play, mate, that is ridiculous.
You beat your record. Huh? You beat your record 3 times in a row. Nice. Only 3. And you got the lap record now.
Really? You've done the lap record and you set it first, and then broke it again, and broke it again.
So as I was saying, a huge well done to Aldas for setting the lap record multiple times there. Unreal driving by him. And yeah, like cutting his weight, doing all sorts of different stuff to get himself as fast as possible. The dude is on smoke right now. And you can see here, that's me sitting behind the number 3 car. I've caught him back up. Aldas has very kindly offered me some of this slow-mo footage of me driving, getting that sweet human DRS. Look at that head tucked down, even though I'm pretty big. So actually, in reality, I'm probably doing nothing there. But yeah, there you can see next lap, lapping P3, on my way to come and find wherever P2 is, because I want to lap them as well, obviously, given that Aldas has put me so far ahead in this race. And yeah, coming on to this next bit, you can see here, that's P2 that I'm going up the inside of. Can I make the pass stick? He holds it. And yes, that's it, lapping P2. Somehow, Aldas and I have managed to lap the entire field, which is amazing. And yeah, not much more. Sorry that my GoPro didn't work. It was cold, and therefore the GoPro didn't want to work. I don't really understand why it does this, but that was pretty much it for the race anyway. There's not much you want from me here. All I did was drive sensibly, run a 41.6 lap time as well, which was 4/10 off of what Aldas was doing, and bring it home to take the win by over a lap from the rest of the field, which is unreal. And very much thanks to Aldas' first stint, of course.
And our race winners with a new lap record, outright lap record of 41.23, which is done on lap 80. Conor W 11, Aldas, and with JB.
Well done, guys. Who's drinking champagne? Don't land though.
Boys, that was a madness. The race is finished, and I'm sorry that my camera didn't record. It was too cold for the damn GoPro, and it's not even that cold, bro. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Basically, this man right here, he set the lap record. He set the lap record again.
3 times.
He set it one more time just for the fans.
Lap record holder, mate. That sounds good.
I'm sorry. Like, what more do you want from me? So it's almost better that you just see how
it was a team effort. It was a team effort.
It was. Like I did set the second fastest lap, so I'll take that, man. Well, potentially, we'll have to have a look at it.
Technically, it's the 4th fastest lap because I did 3 times.
We'll have to. Shh. What is this guy saying, man? What's he saying? What's the point? This is my video, man. He's just no, but for real, it was a good race. Didn't expect to win. Didn't expect to lap everyone.
I did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it was good. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching the video as always. In fact, you know what? I'll let future JB do the outro. I'll just bask in the glory of the lap record holder.
I'm the GOAT.
That's big from him. He's not the GOAT. The dude weighs 62 kilograms, my brother. I'm rolling at 88, and he thinks he's a big man. And I was 4/10 off of him.
Man's got more excuses than muscles.
It's done.
Obviously just messing around there, just having a bit of fun. Aldas did do a really good job, so yeah, excellent stuff by him. And sorry again for the lack of footage from me. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure the like button, I would really appreciate it. And subscribe as well if you're new here. Massive thanks to the patrons, as always, for their support. And to you guys as well for watching. And obviously to Rye House as well for putting on such a fun and enjoyable championship as well. And to everyone else who's karting on the day, it was a really good event. And there was a generally really high level of karting. So yeah, really happy with all of that. But yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.
Listen.